Merry Christmas to you.
Mr. Ronnie Beck.
Thank you. Thank you, choir. Thank you, congregation.
All right, we know this song. You better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming tonight. That's right.
Good evening. Welcome, Unity Palo Alto. My name is Reverend John Riley. I have the joy of serving as your senior minister, and it's wonderful to be with you all here tonight on this beautiful Christmas Eve. Thanks to all of you who are here in person. Thank you to all of you who are watching on our live stream, and for those who will watch it during the week in the coming weeks. We're so blessed by you, and know that wherever you are in this moment, you're in the right place at the right time right now. Yes? These guys know it. I'm going to open tonight with an opening prayer. So I just invite you to take a moment to settle in, to be present to yourself, to your breath, and to know that we are all one in this moment. And in this moment, loving Spirit, loving presence that moves in, through, and as us, we give thanks for this opportunity to come together as a spiritual community, to share the gifts of love and connection and friendship, to celebrate the light of the way shower, to be the light. We're here to be open, to be the peaceful presence in the world. And with that in our hearts, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Well, we're so blessed to have you here today. We're so blessed to have our wonderful music team. Ronnie Beck is on drums. Russell Norman is on piano. Margot LeDuc is our soloist. And the good Lisa Whitfield is our platform leader today. And you're all here, so we're going to begin with some opening songs. I'll invite you all to stand as we sing together.
All right. All right, you guys, you know this song. Everybody knows this song. Here we go. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Shall we do it again? All right, now this time, make it loud and proud on those shout-outs, okay? Are you ready? Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing in the plain song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. That's right.
Let's hear it again for the band. Well, welcome and Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Lisa Whitfield. I am really excited to be here. We missed this service last year, and it's one of my favorites, so it's really great to see everybody here in the sanctuary. Welcome to everybody who's joining us online or even watching later in the week. We're so glad you're here. As you may know, Unity is a worldwide movement, so we are celebrating with people across the world and from all walks of life. In Unity, we have 5 core principles that guide us on our spiritual journey, much like Santa Claus has Rudolph's red nose. We have the 5 core principles. Beginning with, maybe it's not a red nose, but they're pretty good. Beginning with God is. There is only one power and one presence active in the universe and in our lives, God, the good omnipotence. And it doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it divine love, allness, the universe. What's important is our second principle, I am. God is the substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation, which means no matter what you call it, you are not separate from it. Our third principle is the law of mind action. Thoughts in mind produce after their kind, which means we have the power to affect our world with how we focus our thoughts and where we put our energy. Something that helps us with that in Unity is our fourth principle, which is the practice of meditation and prayer. Meditation and affirmative prayer are what connect us to the creative, constructive power of God to live in, through, and as us. And our fifth principle is daily practice. We're not just doing it on Christmas Eve. We're doing it 24/7, 365. We are living according to these principles so that we can express more of the divine within us, and our lives get better, and we put more good out into the world. So when we put all of those principles together, they help us live out our vision statement here at Unity. I'm going to invite you to affirm that with me. Together, centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And so it is.
Breath of heaven, hold me together, be forever lighten my darkness, pour over me your holiness, for your holy. Breath of heaven, breath of heaven.
And now our reading from the Daily Word. Today's Daily Word is joy. I'll read our affirmation and then invite you to affirm it with me. With joy, I prepare for the rebirth of the Christ within. Together? With joy, I prepare for the rebirth of the Christ within. Christmas Eve brings back memories of childhood anticipation. What's in the packages under the tree? What other goodies will be there for me in the morning? Now, I relish the anticipation of the joy my gifts will bring as I watch my loved ones opening their presents. This joy blooms in my heart as the Advent season draws to a close, and I prepare to receive my most precious gift, the rebirth of the Christ within. I still my mind and become present. I contemplate the awe of the shepherds as they heard of Jesus' birth. I think of the veneration of the kings who traveled to honor him. I surrender to my feelings of awe and reverence, preparing for the joyous rebirth of light and love within me. And this is from Luke chapter 2, verse 10. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people."
Love incarnate, love divine, star and angels gave the sign. Bow to babe on bended knees, the Savior of humanity. Unto us a child is born, he shall reign forevermore. Noel, Noel, come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world given for us. Noel, 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 come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world given for us. Noel.
Noel, the story of amazing love. Noel is the song of Christmas, the song that celebrates the idea of Christmas. And did you know the first Noel, apparently, so it's been told, the first Noel was to a set of poor shepherds on a hill on a cold, dark night? Did you know that? Yes. That was the very first Noel. Well, tonight we are singing the songs to celebrate Christmas, singing the songs to celebrate the Christmas gifts, the gifts of community and family and connection that we all feel when we come together, the gifts when you're with your family, the gifts when you're just celebrating each other. We're here to celebrate the gifts of loving kindness and joy. It may come as a beautifully wrapped present. It may come as a delicious meal on the table, some gift that we're giving to each other, an expression of that love. And it's also celebrating the gift of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, the celebration of Christmas morning. Now, Jesus was a man who embodied the I am consciousness that Moses brought forth. Jesus was the way shower that expressed that Christ potential that is within every person, in you and in me. And Jesus was the master teacher, sharing with all of humanity this idea of the Christ potential that's within us, the divine potential, that higher self, whatever you want to call it. God, Jesus, they don't mind if you call it something different. But that's that person, that self within you, that's your highest self. Now, Jesus brought many gifts during his ministry. He brought the gift of healing. He brought the gift of prayer and taught us how to pray so that we could really turn within and feel the experience of God, feel our oneness with Spirit, feel the energy of the universe within us. He was a master teacher that taught with metaphors and sayings and miracles and different ways to show us, to help us understand how we could live a more joyful and abundant life. And one of the great gifts that he gave was during his Sermon on the Mount. And during this grand sermon to the masses of people, he proclaimed, "You are the light of the world." Now, a city set on a hill shines its light. We don't put a lamp under a bushel, but rather we shine our light for everyone to see. He said, "You are the light of the world." What an amazing gift. So it all began on that dark, cold night. His ministry, his teachings all began on that dark, cold night with a small group of shepherds. Now, the Bible actually didn't include a weather report. So we don't know if it was cold. We don't know if it was rainy. It did say night, so we're pretty sure it was dark at the time. But this story began, that part of the ministry began in the middle of Luke. See, the birth of Jesus is told in two of the four Gospels, Matthew and Luke. And in Matthew, they had very different audiences. In Matthew, he was talking to the Jews at the time. And so the first chapter is all about the lineage of Jesus. And in Luke, he was talking to the Gentiles. And so they wanted to make something more tangible for the people of the time. And so they were talking about how Mary and Joseph were coming into Bethlehem for the census. They had to be counted. And so that was all kind of preamble. But then the very first experience, of Jesus being born and wrapped in cloth and laid in a manger, the very first experience was that of the shepherds that night. And in Luke chapter 2, verse 8, as Lisa read part of it, it goes like this. In that same region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flocks by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone all around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of the great joy for all people. To you this day, in the city of David, a Savior who is the Messiah, the Lord, is born." The key phrase in that is to all people. This idea of this Christ consciousness, the things that he taught, the light that's within you, applies to everyone across all boundaries, across all borders, across all cylinders that we put ourselves in. It is the great truth that brings all of humanity together. And so in Unity, we celebrate that great truth. We celebrate that bringing together of all of humanity. And that is a beautiful scene, isn't it? That the idea of the shepherds on the hill and the angel appearing. It's a beautiful scene, and it looks great on stage. It's true. It's a beautiful scene played out. And I can tell you, I really identify with those shepherds. Because, they're just going about their daily life. So much is going on in their life, right? They're busy working the fields, they're getting the sheep to bed. Finally, can you experience that? It's like you come home from work and, finally the kids are asleep. No, I have teenagers. They don't like to go to bed before midnight. So I've given up that theory of waiting until they go to bed. But here we are, the little kids. The kids are in bed now. It's time for us. We can just relax. We can go to sleep and get on our normal routine. And all of a sudden, bam, there's an angel. Radiant and glorious. That's pretty good on a stage too. That beautiful angel appearing and that energy that's flowing from him, wouldn't you be a little terrified too? That would kind of freak me out a little bit. All of a sudden, there it is. Now, the wonderful thing about this for me, I believe, is that there is so much going on in the story, more than just what you might see on a stage. There's a deep and profound spiritual lesson in this story for all of us. And one of the things that I love about Unity is that we look beyond the literal interpretation of the story or the literal scene, and we look for the spiritual lesson. The lesson that can be applied in life. The lesson that we can use every day in our life to help us live better, to help us live that better self. And so one of the gifts of Charles Fillmore, he's one of the co-founders of the Unity movement, he created this spiritual and metaphysical interpretation of the Bible, which have been covered up over the years. It wasn't new, it was just a new lens on it. It's a re-uncovering of that spiritual nature of the Bible. So in this story, the shepherds, they relate to us. They're a part of who we are. The shepherds represent that part of us that watches over ourselves, that protects ourselves. That part of us that has our best interests in mind. You know that part? Yeah, the one we never listen to? That's the one. Sometimes we follow our good advice, that intuition. Most of the time not. But that's what the shepherds represent, that part of us that is always attuned to your highest and best self. That's attuned to what is highest and best for you in this experience of life. That's looking out for you. Whether we listen to it or not, it's there. And it recognizes and hears that greater expression, that idea that there is something greater within you, that there is something bigger in you to be born and to be expressed into the world. Ooh, I'm just so excited. Excuse me. That's the part of you that hears that verse and that idea, you are the light of the world, and says yes. Until 5 seconds later, when the other side of you said, yeah, I don't think so. You are the light of the world, John. Yeah, right. You want to see light of the world? I'm just going to go flip through my Insta for the next 5 minutes. Look at that. There's a cat. We just distract ourselves. We look at other people and see how wonderful we think their lives are. We judge ourselves against other people. We judge ourselves against this idea of Jesus, this idea of being the light of the world. We judge ourselves against the people that we admire on the screen and the people that we don't like. We're judging ourselves constantly around all of those things to the point where we don't know our own self. We're trying to find ourselves in other people. When that part of us, that shepherd within us is just saying, okay, little sheep, it's time for bed. Little human ego, it's okay. Just take a breath for a moment. Have some peace so that I can do my work and connect with Spirit. So that's the fear that the shepherds felt, I think. That's the fear that the shepherds felt when they heard that word, you were the light of the world, and when they saw that vision of the angel. Now, the angel represents divine inspiration. That's within us all the time. We get it, we hear it through our intuition, right? We might see it when we're not thinking too hard. Some idea pops into us, some divine inspiration. We get some great ideas when we're not trying so hard, when we're not efforting as much. Have you noticed how things come a little more smoothly when you're not really trying to get it right? Not trying to get it perfect. Things just come a little bit smoother when you're just allowing yourself to be in the flow of life. And so this angel that appeared, this divine inspiration, is telling us, don't be afraid. When you hear that idea, you are the light of the world, don't be afraid. Don't judge yourself against anything else. Just be you. Your perfect, beautiful light. The world doesn't need you to be anything other than that. Just show up as you, as your better self. As a little bit better than you were before. There is good news of the great joy for all people. There is good news for the great joy for all people. All people. This does not reside in one group or another. This is the consciousness, this is the eminence of God that is everywhere present, as Lisa talked about. That idea that God, the center of the God is everywhere present, whose center is everywhere, whose circumference is nowhere. That puts God directly in you. And in you, and in you. In us, in this very moment. So God is in us like the ocean is in the wave. You just can't get out of it. It's not hidden like as Eric Butterworth would say, like a raisin in a bun or in a muffin. You know those bran muffins that are all bran and like one raisin somewhere in the middle? And you're like, did I really just pay $5 for this? Right? God is everywhere present in you. And that idea, that consciousness is born in you today. It's time for you to be that light. Now, our human ego will have fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We will have the FUD in our life. But there's good news and great joy for all people. For these are natural reactions. The fear, uncertainty, and doubt are natural reactions. When you're looking at that higher self and thinking, okay, I can be, a little bit better, but I'm not a miracle maker. I'm just John. There's a big polarity in there. There's John, and then there's the Christ. That's a pretty big leap. But trust me, it's a pretty big leap for me. What if you didn't have to make that leap? There's nothing to leap to because you're already it. Because that divine potential is already within you. What if it was just one small step in this direction? Just one small step to your better nature. Not making global change, just one little step. One little step to be a kinder person at work. One little step to, make a phone call to that person that you've been avoiding. I was going to say my mom, but I'm seeing her in a few days, so it's going to make up for not making the phone calls that I haven't been making. Right? Okay, good. One step towards self-forgiveness. How about that one? One little step at a time towards being your better self. What would your life be like if you just took one step forward? That is the true teaching, I believe, of what Jesus was talking about. You have great potential. Just start moving in that direction. Don't worry about what everyone else is saying. The great lessons are love your God with all of your heart. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. What a beautiful, beautiful message. That means, first off, I've got to love myself before I can love my neighbor. I have to have some sense of self-love, knowing that God is present. And when I love God, that allness of life, then I see it everywhere. So what if it isn't just taking one step? What if the answer is just a big leap? What if the answer is just taking one little step? One step towards peace. Not because the world needs more peace, and it does. One step towards harmony. Not because your relationships need harmony, and they do. One step towards being your better self, simply so that you can be in that presence. So that you can hold your head high with confidence. So you can share with one another your true feelings and thoughts. So that you can be strong in your faith. Strong in what you want to accomplish in life. There will be times when we will fall, absolutely, and we get back up again. What if it was just taking one step towards all of those things? And Jesus had great teachings for this. He first taught us how to pray. And it's not the prayer that we're used to or that we grew up with. It's not a beseeching prayer, right? It's a prayer of knowing our oneness with God. As he said, go into that inner chamber, shut the door, and just be present to God within you, to that infinite wisdom, to that divine inspiration, to that infinite wellspring of love, peace, harmony, and joy. Just be present to it. And as you become present to it, you bring more of it into the world. Prayer is such a key component in unity because we understand the power of affirmative prayer. We are affirming our oneness. And when we affirm our oneness with God, when we affirm peace in our lives, when we affirm harmony in our lives, then that is what gets created in our life. More and more. Now, it's not going from here to here. It's just one step at a time. The whole key here is that we have the ability within us to change our life through affirmative prayer. And because we do, we have the ability to change our world through affirmative prayer. Your prayers, our prayers of peace, of being peaceful, of being that peaceful presence, uplifts the planet. Now, don't go looking for the results in the news. That's the sure way to think that you're doing it wrong. Just keep doing it one step at a time. Look for the results in your heart. And when you feel that shift within you, you will know that you are making a positive difference in the world. You're shining your light makes a difference in the world. And what happens on the hillside when we have 100 or 200 people shining their light? That's a pretty good view, isn't it? Okay, it's just me. I think it's a pretty good view when you're driving along and there's the mountain filled with lights. You know which way to go. We're here to be more compassionate. We're here to love your neighbor, and we're here to love ourselves. We're here to be the light of the world, right here where you are. So that's what tonight is all about, celebrating that gift of love that's within us, that gift of peace that is already within us, and drawing upon that so that we can raise the consciousness of the planet. Drawing upon that so that we can raise the consciousness of ourselves. It all begins right here. If you don't shift your own mind, then you cannot shift the world. If you are holding anger and frustration and resentment, you're going to be expressing anger and frustration and resentment. So you must begin first in our hearts. So tonight is first about getting into that prayer consciousness. It's about singing that joyful expression, that Noel toward these Christmas gifts. And it's about shining our light. And so we're going to go into a time of meditation and affirmative prayer. We're going to have a love offering. And after the service, if you'd like to give a gift here in the sanctuary, there's a silver box on the side and a silver box in the back that says love offering. You can place your donations in there. If you're online, or you can give a donation on our website. But however you give with love. And then after that, we will sing more, and then we'll have our candle lighting service ceremony where we are going to light the lights with each other. We're going to connect with each other. This room will be aglow. And we're going to celebrate this wonderful gift of life. Is that good? Yes. Are you in? Yes. All right, let's start with meditation and affirmative prayer now that I got you excited. Let's take a nice, deep, cleansing breath. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze as we begin to move from the outer experience of light and laughter and the news, the weather, and simply moving beyond all the physical aspects of life into that inner chamber where there is love, the harmonizing energy of Spirit flowing through us. There is peace, the peaceful pool of a supple peace that allows us to bend with the wind, yet stay strong with ease and grace. Where there is within you infinite joy, and all it takes is a little bit of faith, a little tiny crack of faith for God to move. And so we center ourselves in this present moment. We breathe in love, and we breathe out kindness and compassion. We breathe in wisdom, and we are a blessing to the world. We breathe in divine inspiration, and we express wise and loving decisions. And so we follow our breath inward into that still small space within you that is infinite in possibilities. Breathing into this present moment, one with the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. Breathing into the stillness, breathing into the silence. I am one with the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. I am a peaceful presence, and I bring peace into the world. I am the loving expression of harmony, shining my light into the world today. For I am the light of the world, as long as I am in this world. We surround each other in this love, this harmonizing energy that flows in through and as us, enfolds each one of us in this room, each person online, lifting each person up in this very moment. This harmonizing energy of love, then we send out to our friends and family. We send out across the planet, lifting every human being on the planet in this very moment. Blessing every human being. Shining our light so that they may discover theirs. We are the peaceful presence in the world. And with that love in our hearts, we give thanks. Grateful for this opportunity to come together, to celebrate the gifts of the Christ consciousness, the gifts of song and community, the gifts of spirit. And for this joyful experience, we give thanks by singing the Alleluia.
Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
And with that love and joy in our hearts, let us return our attention to this time and space and just allow that Christmas energy, allow that Christ consciousness, that better self, that higher energy to just be your guide tonight and through the rest of this week. Unity Palo Alto is here to help you discover your spiritual magnificence and to live from that magnificence every day, to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. Our purpose statement here is to transform lives and inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. And we are here because of our generous donations to this spiritual community. There's so many ways in which you can support the spiritual community. Again, if you'd like to make a donation, there are a couple of boxes, or you can go online and make a donation there. But however you give with love in your heart. For it's the manner in which we give to the world that we receive from the world. And when we give with love of our time, our talent, our treasure, our experience, then we receive that love tenfold. The affirmation that we say is on the screen, and I invite you to affirm it with me. Together, divine love from me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, night divine. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine. una divine.
Now, at this point, you should all have a candle. If you do not have a candle, please raise your hand, and we will bring you one right now. Welcome, welcome. Take two. Mhm. You're welcome. Nancy. Everyone else have a candle? You're welcome. There you go. We're going to begin our candle lighting service. And the first thing that we need to do is please the fire marshals and explain the proper way to light a candle. But before we do that, you'll notice, if you haven't already done so, there's a little rubber band with an affirmation on your candle. That's just for you. Feel free to take that out for a moment, read it, and place that in your heart. Now, the way we light candles is the person with the lit candle holds the candle upright. The person with the unlit candle goes at a 90-degree angle, like that. And after you get your candle lit, feel free to light the candle of the person next to you. It's coming from that side. Here you go. And then you can light their candle. Take a moment to lift your candle up high and look around. See the light. See the glow. See the love. You are the light of the world. And you are here to shine that light brightly for all to see. You are the divine essence of life in this very moment.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
I'm going to turn on the lights and then invite you to blow your candle out. And feel free to take the candle home with you.
I see a lot of light out there. I hope you're feeling like the light of the world. If you're feeling that, let's hold on to that. I'd like to invite you to stand if you're able. Turn toward the center aisle. We're going to take a moment to bless each other. That's not the right one.
Not that one. You can just leave it blank. The blessing is,
I
love
love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the light in you. Let's do
Together?
it together.
I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the light in you. And so it is.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.
Thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas. We'll conclude with our prayer for protection. Ethan, together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Love and blessings. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll see you next week.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your King. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.